Hi everyone, so just got up and made myself my coffee, my Pisces mug, very fitting for this video. I woke up just having this idea that I wanted to do a video on astrology and BB22. I know this is just the rumored cast, but I couldn't resist. I think I did this for BB20, but I really wanted to do it for BB22. If this goes well, then I'll do it for the actual cast. I'm pretty sure it'll probably look like this. Maybe some surprises, but we'll see. I wrote down the rumored cast's birthdays and their sun signs. I know we can't get a full picture of someone just by having their sun sign, but it's what I have and it's gonna have to be enough. I wasn't surprised at all. I have looked at previous winners and their zodiac signs, and it's not surprising to me. I do think that when you are born plays a role in how well you do in BB and how you play the game. Yes, there can be some surprises. I think you have to look at the full chart to really understand that. Right now with the sun sign, it's just a little snippet of someone, it's just a little piece. So it's hard to do it with just that information, but I still find it really interesting and I find it a fun way to analyze the house guests and how they will do in the game and how they will form connections with the other house guests. To begin with, I tallied up everything, and of course there are signs that are not represented, but there are signs that are pretty abundant in this cast. So right now there are a total of 16 people, 4 of which are Capricorns, which does not surprise me because Capricorns are go-getters. They have goals, they go after what they want, they love money. So to me, that's not surprising. The people that I saw were Capricorns, I wasn't surprised. They are an earth sign, so I think there is a sense of stability and being able to see the big picture. They, to me, are the least emotional of the earth signs. I think they're able to separate that emotion from the game, which is really useful. And I don't know if you know this, but Will is actually a Capricorn and so is Janelle. So to me, that just makes a lot of sense. Out of the earth signs, I could see why they are the most popular in the BB game. After that, there are 2 signs that are tied for second place as to the most popular in the cast, and that is Sagittarius and Leo. No surprise there. I think Sages are pretty popular when it comes to players in the game. I see them thriving for multiple reasons. To begin with, they're a mutual sign, so they're able to mirror and alter their personality based on who they're around, and I think that is extremely useful. I think that goes for all mutual signs: Sag, Gemini, Pisces, and Virgo. I think this is a huge pro as to their sign. I think that this is extremely useful in the BB house because it allows you to fit in with multiple people and alter what you portray. I think it could possibly also come off as fake. There can be cons to it, but I think possibly the pros outweigh the cons. I recently, like I mentioned in my other video, saw BB7 because I wanted to see the original BB All-Stars and compare it to the one we're getting next week. And I think Erica was a Sag, and now I'm watching BB10 and Memphis is a Sag. You see when Sag has that fiery energy, it comes out eventually. I think they could be very feisty, but also really good at molding who they are with certain people. And Leo, obviously I think Leo is pretty popular in the game because they're known as being the, for the lack of a better term, show-offs. They are big personalities, typically, stereotypically, and they love the camera, they love attention. For me, Leos have insecurities that they don't easily display, but they're there, and I think that's what's, to me, is interesting about them because they're the lion. They seem so secure in themselves, but they do have these insecurities. They're feisty, fiery, of course. To me, Leos are pretty entertaining and they make for good TV, but that also doesn't mean that they can't be good players, because I think they can. I think they have a lot of passion in them, and they're also go-getters and go after what they want. So I could see them, and they have really thrived in the game as well. And then after that, all the rest of them, there's only one of each. Virgo, only one. I know a very famous BB winner who's a Virgo, Dan Giesling. I'm sure you know of him. Virgos are very analytical. I think they're able to see the big picture. I do think they're the most emotional of the earth signs typically. So I think that's, I'm not going to say a con. It's not bad to be emotional, but you have to be able to separate it from the game. Virgos are also a mutable sign, so I think that's a huge pro for them. I think they're able to alter who they are with certain people and relate to a lot of different people. Aquarius, there's only one of them in this cast, and I think Aquariuses are typically very good at this game. A famous BB winner that's an Aquarius is Derek, and yeah, I don't need to say anymore. Aquariuses are able to separate their emotions from the game, and they're very capable of playing a very strong strategic game. They're really smart as well, and I think not everybody knows that about them, but they are very smart. I think the intellect is usually associated with Virgo and Capricorn, but Aquarius definitely has it as well, and obviously Gemini has it as well. You know, Mercury is a ruler, so yeah. Now I get to Gemini, the other mutable sign, and there's only one person with the Gemini placement, with the Gemini sun sign, and they're also a mutable sign. So same thing I said about Virgo and about Sag. They're able to alter their personality. That can come off as fake. I think a lot of people have a negative stigma of Gemini, which I don't think is true at all. Geminis are very crafty and creative and very smart as well. Cancer, Taurus, and Pisces also only have one person in the cast with that sun sign. And I think it's a bit harder for water signs. Typically, of course, I'm not seeing the whole chart, but water signs are typically very emotional, but don't count them out of the game. If it's something that you realize and work towards, you're able to separate it, but you have to know going into it, okay, it is just a game, and not to get wrapped into it, even though it's very easy. I think it's easier said than done. When you play the game, I'm sure it's very different than how you think when you're not playing it. It's so much easier from the outside. I could see Taurus being a difficult one, being able to thrive in the game. I do think they're smart. I do think they're stable, and pro is they're very loyal as well, but they're very stubborn. Just like Leo, I think that's a con for Leo, is that they're very stubborn and set in their ways, and that can be an issue. To begin with, I'm going in alphabetical order by the last name. So Christmas Abbott, she is a Sagittarius. I'm not surprised by this at all. I'm interested to see how she plays this game. If she's able to mold herself and use the mutable sign to her advantage, then I think it'll be easier for her to pull from that side of things. Definitely keep the feisty, fiery at bay. I think that's very important. Don't get into fights in the Big Brother house. So this goes for all my fire signs people. David Alexander, he is a Capricorn. I'm not surprised. He strikes me as an earth sign. So I'm interested to see how he would play this game. I know he was first boot last time around, but I think he can bring great things to the table. He strikes me as very strategic and smart, and yeah, I guess we'll just have to see. Maybe he'll team up with the other Caps. Like if they did do a Capricorn alliance, it'd be a pretty strong one. Nicole Anthony is also a Capricorn, doesn't surprise me. Though she is a bit emotional. I remember her crying a lot last season, but it was a difficult season for her. I'm interested to see how she plays this game. I would love to see her be more strategic and aggressive with her moves. That's what I'm hoping for this BB All-Star season, is to see people unafraid to play the game. It's not fun to watch people be afraid to make big moves. We want to see them go for it, so I'm excited for that. She definitely has some earth sign energy, and she seems like she works really hard. So we'll see what she brings to the table. Cody Calafury, I don't know if I'm saying the last name right. Whenever I look at it, I want to say cauliflower, but it's not that. He's a Sag, and that's not really surprising to me at all. He strikes me as a fire sign. I'm not necessarily sure I would have said a Sag. I maybe would have said a Leo, especially since Derek is an Aquarius and have that sister sign dynamic. But he is a Sag. Yeah, I'm interested to see how he plays the game without Derek. Is he going to use that Sag mutable sign to his advantage? I hope so, because I think that is the way to go when you are a mutual sign. I think it's a huge advantage that you have. You just have to make sure to be smart about it and not be seen as a floater or as fake. I think that's where the issue arises. I think mutual signs can be used to read people, and that's the best part of it, instead of, you know, kind of, you gotta be smart about it, of course. You can't be using people and being in everything, and then people are like, hey, like, this person's in every alliance. They're just kind of weaseling their way in, and that's where you paint a target on your back. Or you get away with it. Depends. Kevin Campbell is actually a Virgo, which doesn't surprise me, and it also excites me. I do like Virgo people. I think they bring interesting things to the table. They're very analytical and smart. They see through things, which will be a lot of fun. So I'm excited to see how he plays this game and if he's able to read people easily. Same with what I said before, mutable sign. So they have that advantage to them as well. Tyler, I actually remember doing a BB20 astrology video and talking about him being an Aquarius. I think him and Swaggy maybe have the same birthday, or they are around the same time. Again, guys, if I get any of these birthdays wrong, I got them online, and we know there's false information out there, so let me know if I have anything that's incorrect. Thank you. He's proven to be, to me, a very Aquarius type of player, very strategic, good social game, and I'm interested to see how he does it this time around, because I think he's a huge target, especially for the older BB players. Then it's obvious that there's going to be like a very old versus new, so we'll see how that plays out. But he's a huge target. Everybody knows how he plays the game. He makes a lot of alliances and people aren't going to trust him, so I'm interested to see how he turns it around. He's very good at keeping his emotions separate from the game, which is a huge pro. I think that's very hard for people, and yeah, so we'll see. Bailey, she's actually a Gemini, so she also has that mutable energy to her, and Geminis are very smart, and I think she'll be able to pick up on things quickly. Geminis aren't given enough credit, so we'll see what she does with that. I'm not surprised about it. I see her as either a fire or air sign, and yeah, Gemini's her sun sign. I'm sure she has some fire placements in there because she definitely is very fiery. She's just gonna have to keep that at bay. Bailey at bay. Sorry. Yeah, I think for her, definitely that's what she's gonna have to do. And maybe just own in more on her Gemini energy, where it's a little bit more calculated. Of course, don't come off as fake or anything, but more, you know, behind the scenes type of reading stuff rather than exploding and stuff. That never works out. Danielle Donato, I didn't know she was a Leo, but I'm not surprised either. She's interesting to me. I'm really interested to see how she plays this. I'm excited to see what moves she makes. She's a good competitor and she's very strategic and smart, so we'll see. I don't necessarily think that she'd stay with the old BB people the whole time. I think she could switch it up. She's just that type of player, which is interesting to me. Leos are very much go-getters, and she's definitely a go-getter, and they're very competitive and she's competitive. So I'm excited to see her do these comps. Nicole F, she's a Cancer, and yeah, that doesn't surprise me. it should be interesting to see how she does it this time around. I know all the drama and the rumors, I've talked about it already, but like I've said, I think it's a little difficult for water signs, but it doesn't mean it can't be done, and obviously she's one, so we'll see how this goes. Memphis is a Sag, which isn't surprising to me. I looked it up because I was watching BB10. I'm still watching BB10, and I saw that he's a Sag, and I was like, yeah, not surprised. I actually saw him get in like a fight, like very fiery, so it happens with fire signs. I think the most important thing for them is also just to lay low with that and not get into fights. Enzo is a Capricorn, so a lot of that strategic go-getter. I am interested to see if he forms an alliance maybe with Janelle or any of the other Capricorns. We'll see. And now, Janelle, obviously she's a Capricorn and she's a comp beast. She's a go-getter. She loves the nicer things in life, loves money. So I would love to see Janelle get this win. Should be interesting how she plays. She's older now, but she was an amazing race. She's in great shape. So we'll see what she does. And her buddy, Kaser, is a Leo. He's actually August 10th and she's January 10th. I feel like you have a special connection with people born on the same day, even if it's a different month. I think there is some type of bond there, and they obviously get along really well, and they've had alliances in the past, so I have no doubt they'll probably form an alliance again. I hope they're still on good terms. He actually doesn't strike me as a Leo. I think I was surprised by that. I was hoping to see, maybe not hoping, but I thought I would see an earth sign, maybe another Cap, maybe a Taurus, since he is very loyal, maybe even a Virgo, but he's a Leo. So I think Leos it's very typical for them to go on reality TV shows because they love that attention and they're very entertaining and interesting. So Devon, she's a Taurus. She's very loyal to me. If she's in alliance with you, she will do everything for you. Like, she's just a really good person to have on your side. Like I've said, I think Taurus struggles because they are so stubborn. I think that's the same thing with Leo, is they want things their way. It's difficult, but I do think Taurus has really good qualities that they bring to the table. Loyalty being one, being an earth sign, so they're very stable. They are a good person to have on your side. And I do think they're go-getters as well. So Keisha, we all know Keisha's birthday. It's a very famous scene in BB10, that fight. So yeah, she's obviously a Leo. I think it's her birthday today, August 1st. So happy birthday, Keisha. It doesn't surprise me that she is a Leo. She likes attention. She's very smart as well, a go-getter and competitive. So yeah, I'd be excited to see her play in BB22 and see how she does. I love her in BB10. I'm rooting for her. So yeah. And lastly, Ian Terry, he is a Pisces, actually a cusp, but still a Pisces. He's a cusp between Pisces and Aries. But I know I mentioned before, I did a video and I don't think I realized that he was a Pisces, because I was like, oh, there's no Pisces BB winners. But he's a winner and he's a Pisces, and I love Ian. I've said it before, I'm a huge Ian Terry fan. I love BB14. I think he is the cutest and such a sweetie pie. I'm excited to see how he plays this time around and what he does differently. Pisces, to me, I think it's hard because we're very emotional and daydreamy, but I think the big pro that we have is that we are a mutual sign. We are very good to relating to other people and forming connections. I think also we are taken for granted and kind of not really seen for our full potential. So I think we surprise people, and that's a good thing. We're not initially that huge threat, but we come out and we surprise people with our brains and our competitiveness and our passion. So I think we're very passionate people. So ultimately, if we want something, we'll get it. And yeah, we're sister signs of Virgo. So I think it's forgotten how smart Pisces is and intuitive, which is huge, reading people. So I think that'll be very interesting. I hope he plays into that. I think he has in the past. And yeah, so that's all I have. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you want me to do this for the actual cast, if it is any different. I'm excited for BB22 and see what comes. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, guys. Thank you.